Right. So very good morning, all of you. So any doubts, clarifications of last session before we proceed further? There's one doubt raised because the other day we discussed about UCC, right? Universal Common Civil Code in a way. Which state? Uh, Uttarakhand. So here one point also you have to keep in mind is Uttarakhand has not done just like this. They appointed a committee. Based on the recommendation of the committee, it's done. And who headed that committee? Is a retired Supreme Court judge. Just make note of that name. Ranjana Prakash Desai. Ranjana Prakash Desai. This is called the UCC committee. It was chaired by retired Judge of Supreme Court, Ranjana Prakash Desai. So that point you should keep in mind. So based on that recommendation, it's done. Okay. So whatever the information, right? This like this, either if somebody asks or you come across, it's always advisable to make note. Okay. Add something to your notes. Any factual informations, latest updates, especially, right? Today is one thing, tomorrow in the course of time, minor changes may happen. So quickly add immediately, because even after 1 2 days, if you feel that later I will add, you may or may not. Okay, that instinct work, you have to finish it up. Okay, now back to today's topic. So the very much news as India-Myanmar border to be fully fenced. That's one news, and at the same time, the Home Ministry says free movement regime is going to be end. So they scrap this free movement regime. Two words here. Fencing, of course, the border, that India, Myanmar, okay, is a border. It's a porous border, thickly forest cover is there, right? The mountainous, porous, everything, okay? Different part is concerned at different places. But hitherto being the friendly country, the Myanmar, we don't have much problem like Pakistan. Okay, in Pakistan, most of thing is fenced. Even now, they're talking about geofencing. This Punjab area, everything is concerned. But POK side, it's not like this. We have the China other side, then the Bangladesh. We have the Bangladesh land border agreement. After Modi came to power, we resolved the border issues. So in a way, we don't have any border problem much, isn't it? Except Pakistan regarding Kashmir, there we have the border problem. And China, of course, it occupied us in 1962 war, so we won't return that, right? Aksachin area, for example, China occupied. Then some parts of Arunachal Pradesh. This is a major issue. And regarding Bangladesh, Myanmar, we don't have any issue. Bangladesh resolved. Myanmar, even from the beginning, we don't have the border problem. But the broader problem is as when the movement is of the people is there. If a common people comes and go, we may not have the problem. In the guise of the common people, some sort of illegal activities are happening, like human trafficking, fake currency movements, militants entry. Now that you saw that the Manipur is burning, one of the reasons they are not able to control is those people just running off into Myanmar border, because our police, we may not able to go to that. So finally feel that, okay, in some part is already over fencing. That to be fenced in our side. And the border post is there. In our side, almost 100 meters. In our side, we fenced so that we'll not have any major problem. So now we wanted to do it completely. Okay, that is one aspect. Before getting into the free movement regime, what is the generally the terms called every country the border names, right? India, Pakistan. What is the boundary line is called? Radcliffe line. Okay. What is McMahon? India, China. But now and then you heard about LAC, LOC. What is those? Huh? Line of control, line of actual control. Huh. Regarding which country those are? Yeah. So de jure is Radcliffe and McMahon, but de facto in reality, because some portion that what we call POK, Pakistan occupied Kashmir, is there. So a de facto border in reality is called LOC or LAC? LOC. Pakistan LOC, line of control. When it comes to the China, LAC, line of actual control. So regular usage of those words. And then regarding Bangladesh, what is the boundary line? Remember 1947 country get divided. Radcliffe, right? East Pakistan, West, everything border. So that it's also, we may call it, okay? Though it's not that much in the news. Same case with the Myanmar. When the British India, right, and left everything, Myanmar was freed up when the British India itself. So we don't have an issue at that 47. We don't have an issue. So because of that, that border exists. There's no specific name for the bounds. Though while going the India's border, Radcliffe mentioned very clearly this and this is concerned. If at all mentioned, that will be, but there's no specific name in that part. So here, the total boundary, 1643 kilometers is there. Within that, 16 kilometers into each other territory, we call this the free movement. So the people in that area, they can freely move from one place to another, from one village to another. They can have trade, people to people's relationships, everything they can go ahead. No need for the visa and the passports. Okay, if they cross that, then it's required. So now they wanted to even put off this words. So here one point you have to make, this is a border when you look this Myanmar area, 1643 kilometers. You have the four states. These states you have to keep in mind for your objective point of view. Very important. What are the bound? Okay. For even for Pakistan, what are the border states? For China, what are the border states? For Nepal, what are the border states? Right? Always advisable to keep in the border states. So here the four states: Mizoram, Manipur, Nagaland, and Arunachal Pradesh. 510 kilometers the Mizoram border, 398 kilometers of Manipur, Nagaland 218, Arunachal Pradesh. See the continuity is there. Now that there's a problem very much in Manipur, isn't it? So the issue. And especially here, we have the previously Rakhine state. Okay, the Myanmar, we know pretty well in the West. One of the states is Rakhine state. Why it is much known? It's a Myanmar one. Of course, here it is not. Below you will find the end of it, Rakhine. Most of these people, they are the illegal migrants came to Bangladesh, even tried to enter into India. Who are they? Rohingyas, very good. They're the Rohingyas, okay? The Sunni Muslim migrants. So they were persecuted in Myanmar very much. So most of them had taken shelter where? Bangladesh right now. Why we stopped them? Already few are there, even Hyderabad, few Rohingyas are here. Why we are not permitting now is security reasons. Every possibility is that in the guise of these, because they're the Muslims, unfortunately, most of the terrorists are Muslims. And Pakistan were very much alleging that aiding and abetting the terrorists. Pakistan being an Islamic country, Muslims are there very much. So possibility is that in the guise of these migrants, they may intrude. So not to want to take any risk, we are not encouraging. And now there is one more state here on the above the Rakan, and Manipur is very much alleging this link is there. Most of them, right, jumping in Chin and coming here and do the thing is. So see that. Secondly, Myanmar itself is in problem now. When the democracy is prevailing, Aung San Suu Kyi, a Nobel laureate, heading, our relations are comfortable in a way. Now that military takeover, there's a coup, military takeover. And comparatively, military is bent towards China more rather than India. So China factor is dominating. Then possibility that cooperation is minimum, isn't it? Even if the people run into, assume that some people came, shall we entered into? And here remember the few years back, Indian army entered into Myanmar and captured the insurgents. Myanmar permitted that, had taken this action because it's a friendly state, isn't it? All the time it may not happen, isn't it? Even the Bhutan, next to the Bhutan is also a very friendly country to India. At one point, Bhutani king led the army against those insurgents within that. So that's when the good friendly country is there, we don't have much problem. And the people-people relations will continue forever. And European Union, for that matter, Asian countries, symbolic for that. European Union, there's a free movement of persons from any country to any country, isn't it? Even euro dollar is there, currency also, though countries are different. Like we move from one state to another, there's a free movement of goods and services. So it's all depend upon the relationship that are existing among the neighbors. So comparatively with the Myanmar, we don't have much problem. No border issues much, though here and there the minor issues which will be resolved, whether the military rule or a democratic. When the democratic is absolutely no problem at all. When Aung San Suu Kyi, right now in house arrest, okay, anything else. And most of our northeastern states facing the problem of insurgency. And these militants getting the weapons from China and others and hiding in these forest cover areas. Our army will not step in now and protect the entire border become a tough job. So advisable to fence it. At same time, Manipur now burning, and they decided one of the reason for continuous burning of Manipur problem is this free movement regime. Okay. For example, there the huts, border huts are there, like our weekly veg bazaars, right, bazaars. People go. So no doubt they are carrying vegetables and everything. Who knows in the vegetables weapons are there or not? Isn't it? Who knows the fake currency is there in the small heads? So even those things are happening. So to avoid all sort of the things, finally, this free movement. And is that free movement regime existed anywhere, with any other country? We don't have. Okay, neither with Pakistan nor with China. Others. Only thing is free visa is there. Without visa, right? You can directly go there and only passport required. Even Nepal, your passport is required. Visa not no need for the visa. At least other countries visa at arrival. But Nepal, no need for that. And we don't have the army also. The Sevadal is taking care. Okay. So Nepal, comparatively, we have wonderful relations also. But it's not the case with other areas, and especially when northeastern states are facing this militancy, the insurgency problems, they feel yes, it is essential at the juncture to stop it. So physical barrier is required. So they're going ahead with this. So this is what how the fencing looks like. So the need for fencing, if at all now looking for the mains point of view or now the prelims mode, no, the reasons for everything they're asking. So the quick part, we can say the absence of natural barriers. So when there's no natural barriers, like for example, what Himalayas are there, and the thing is concerned, or regarding Sri Lanka, if you say the ocean itself is there. So like this, we don't have anything. So it's very difficult also what exactly the border post. And before this Bangladesh, it is even too horrible. Okay, enclaves issue is there. And if you have to, one enclave is in India, then Bangladesh, then India. To go to that A to C, you have to pass on that B. So like this, you have the part. Okay, so there's a major one and vulnerable to face that. And as Nepal as well as the Bhutan, just now I said there's open. People can cross the border without any resistance. And free movement regime is only between India and Myanmar. We don't have that similarly in the way this. Either of the side. Travel the 16 kilometers you have to keep in mind. So to tackle this cross-border threats, such as either the terrorism, illegal migrants, smuggling, trafficking. Okay, trafficking means this prostitution and others related. Human part is all the things we require on this. Even the fake currency movement is here. It's not mentioned. That's also happening very much there. And the few issues that we have to take care border fencing, there are always delays in the acquisition of land. There's a major problem. When you say the land, land is the state subject. When the state list, central list, concurrent list. Okay. Even the highways, if you want to lay, the state government has to assign the land. If land was not given, no. That's what a railway coach factory or something. What is this? Warangal Hanmukonda. Okay. There's a part of some railway coach factory or railway train related. Always there's a issue between Telangana and central government that land was not assigned. So like this, wherever this land has to be assigned for going ahead by the center on any projects. Then terrain is very much rugged terrain, either marshy land, riverine borders, high mountains, and even the climatic, when this extreme climatic conditions, these are all comes as the problems it is. And if it is not demarcated, in some places possibility is that demarcating become a tough job. India, Nepal, for example, because the very hilly side, water, wherever the water flows. So today water is flowing like this is a border. If water flows like this, we lose something. If water flows like this, Nepal lose something. That's the biggest problem happening is. Then overall construction and maintenance become very costly affair in this. So the issues are there. But still, now the issue of smart fencing is coming up. Border electronically dominate QRT interception technique. That's what geofencing and all the things. Then border infrastructure management scheme is clearly mentioned this concern. Then you have the forest because all the cover is there. Forest Conservation Amendment Bill 2023. There's a provision for exempting these strategic projects. So, so that now we are in a position to do something in the border areas. Our otherwise even legal constraints are there, apart from the technical constraints. So to address this, and we have to march forward. Okay. So to address this problem of insurgency, terrorism, fake currency movement, human trafficking, and especially the Manipur, well, they're burning. And of course, mixed reactions. When the Manipur welcomed it, but other states, the states know what's the need for because when the people's movement stopped, Definitely, there's a protest from the locals. Okay, and in case of elections, a big question mark. Okay, because everything linked with the vote bank. So a mixed reaction is there. But anyhow, the long-term interest and most importantly, the national interest should count more. And whenever you heard about Myanmar, one project comes into notice, Kaladan. Number of exams it came, and few years back, and civil services they asked that itself as a essay question. And group one, group two, group four, everywhere you will find this Kaladan project. Okay, just for your sake, is can you start from Calcutta here and say Saiswal, Mizoram, via Setwi. This is the land. This is the sea. So what this is called multimodal transit as well as the transport project. Okay. So this on road we call transport. On sea, called it as a. So Calcutta to Aizawl via Sitwi. Sitwi is in just now I told you this Chin state and below you will find this Rakan state. Yeah, here is Rakan state. This is all the problems right now happening from this one. So these are all various tribal groups that are be there in this area. And Calcutta to Sitwi, the shipping 539 kilometers. Sitwi to Palvita, inland water. Here is the inland water. This is again 158. Then these two are the road 110, 110, 210 kilometers totally the road. Okay. So it's a very landmark project for us. Kaladan multi. And we never recollected India Myanmar relations. And with that, what is an advantage of this transit transport corridor? Distance will be less, right? Now you can directly go in here. Otherwise, what will happen? You have to go up from our chicken neck. You have to go because that Siliguri corridor is the only land connection. Is above Bangladesh, below Bhutan, right? This tri-junction, China, Bhutan, India, part is concerned. Small stretch, the Siliguri corridor. The reason why the Doklam standoff happened, right? We don't want to allow China to come nearby. If by chance, if that close, the land link will be cut between India and Northeast India. But at the same time, as we have to go early, okay, time of traveling has to be reduced, cost of traveling has to be reduced. So we have to do that. For example, Chinese CPEC, China Pakistan Economic Corridor. It's wonderful, very beneficial to China rather than Pakistan. Okay. Otherwise, it has to go from China, South China, okay, Malacca Strait, below the Indian Ocean, then and to that. Now it's cut short. That's what always when these friendly countries are there, and Bangladesh is the best example right now. So from Calcutta to via Dhaka, you have the train route is there, road is there, right? Apart from the flight, of course, no issue, but this road and rail is very important. So it will cut short the distances, cut short the time so that once it is concerned. So you can save the cost of traveling. The goods cost also will be less. Otherwise, even the it will be right when the how much traveling cost you will add to that. So it's the best example for India, man. Similarly, we have the Friendship Road. Okay, we only constructed there in Myanmar, and Asian Highway pass through India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, okay, Thailand, up to Thailand, okay, all the three is concerned. Then similarly, the projects that were undertaking with the help of the Myanmar is a lot. Myanmar is a link for our SARC and Asian countries, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, India-led group. But unfortunately, it is in coma now. Why? Because of the Pakistani's non-cooperation. So, minus Pakistan, we wanted to go ahead in the cooperation in South Asia. And Myanmar, so minus Pakistan means Myanmar. So we use the word BIMSTEC. So in the BIMSTEC, Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral and Technical Cooperation. BIMSTEC, last time we discussed, right? So you have the Myanmar is a crucial link. So is a major member of Asian countries, Association for Southeast Asian Nations. And to pursue our Act East policy, right? Previously Look East, now it become Act East, right? Myanmar is a crucial land link. That what strategically, geopolitically, economically, Myanmar is very much significant for India, isn't it? So we have to be very careful enough in pursuing the relationship also. So anyhow, in India, first no doubt we have at the same time neighborhood first. Okay, we are continuing that one. Even we are allocating budgets for each one in this issue. So any doubt on this? Myanmar? Yeah, I think few questions somehow I not looked into this. Yeah, Shamala, Swati, Yamini mentioned all the things. Good. Ingasa. Any doubts? So whenever one issue comes, at least few issues, if you recollect, always good enough. So even the Rohingyas are just not talking about this multimodal project, though it's not directly linked with this. Okay, friendship border, Asian highway, okay, all these things. Then one more thing in the news connected with Myanmar, of course, some link with India. We have the Mekong Ganga river. So recently in the news, so I thought the matter is concerned, the town of Lawang Prabang, Laos, is the UNESCO's World Heritage Site. Now it is facing a threat of losing UNESCO status. Why? Because the dams are getting constructed. Here it is concerned on this river. So Mekong Ganga river, very crucial. No doubt it will not pass through India, but as a nobility concern, initiated when the above, you'll find there is a start from the Tibetan plateau, that is to China, via Myanmar, it flows to other countries. So just make note of this name because places are very important in every competitive examination. Person, places, right? Very, very important. So you have to make note of those things. Why in the news? So in the Myanmar, I thought is advisable to go through, and that too, UNESCO heritage site implies it has a thing to protect and preserve. If it is disappearing, what is the position? What the full form of UNESCO? United Nations Educational, Scientific, Cultural, right? So these are the countries through which this Mekong Ganga flows. Started with this Tibetan Plateau, China, right? Here is China to Myanmar. Here the corner you find Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, and ending where? South China Sea, right? In a way. So it's merging with that. And India and five countries. One, two, three, four, five. That is minus China. You have MGC. Okay? If you minus this, then we call this MGC, Mekong Ganga Cooperation. So here you in this you will find India and 5. India plus 5. Mekong Ganga cooperation. So it's also very crucial for India. Already, I think in Group 1, this question, which are the countries are there, not there, the Mekong Ganga Bank, that sort of questions appears. Then another place in the news is Reunion Islands. Can you quickly tell me what it is? Of course, this much very news when the president of France, or Prime Minister of France, who visited India recently, President only, no? Sure. What's the name? Emmanuel Macron visited India. At the time, there's a discussion on this project, reunion. So it's the French Overseas Department and Overseas Region in the Western Indian Ocean, right? You'll find this one, right? So it's no doubt it's far off our list. It's near to Madagascar and Mauritius. So in what way it has a connection with India then, if that be the case? Why why there is a discussion? Hmm? Already in 22, India and France carried out joint surveillance mission there. 20 and 22. Two times we conducted. And joint patrols we are doing with India's Navy P-81 maritime patrol aircraft is doing over there. That means overall surveillance of this ocean is very important. So both India and France agreed to deepen surveillance in this area. Because of that, it will be done. For India, it is geopolitically very significant. And to achieve what we call maritime domain awareness in the Indian Ocean region, and as well as to ensure safe passage for the different vessels. Okay, now the piracy and other problems are there. So we required to cooperation of this. So for that purpose, again, this is in the news. As I just start of exercise, previously I had not covered, though this is concerned, then I thought of informing you this now. Okay. So possibility of appearing the exams. Then another one, now the Ram temple here, the thing, now the Abu Dhabi, the first Hindu temple is getting open shortly. Okay. So it is going to be open on February 14th, spread over almost 27 acres it is concerned. Okay. Estimated with 700 crores cost will be there. So overall in West Asia, this is the largest Hindu temple. Okay. Then back to national news. So today's newspapers carried this very much. Bihar speaker refuses to quit until Nitish flashes floor test in assembly. So the other day we discussed about this floor test. You remembered what it is? What is floor test? Testing the majority on the floor of the house. If the governor orders, test your majority, order the CM to prove his majority on the floor of the house, it is. When we called it no confidence motion, if the opposition introduced, it's a no confidence. Confidence motion, ruling party itself introduced. Okay, the other thing is concerned. So that is relating to CM. Here in Bihar, it so happens there's a change of CM, and CM is supposed to undergo the floor test because no doubt he has taken oath as a CM. but prove his majority within a stipulated period. And politically, pretty well, before Nitish is in one group, now Nitish jumped to another group, but still the CM on behalf of that NDA bloc right now. Previously with Congress Black, now with BJP. Now the speaker, generally whichever the party having the majority, that person will be the speaker. Right? Now that position change, they don't want that person. They want their party man. So the issue. Now tell me, is the speaker is the elected one or appointed one? Either speaker of Lok Sabha or assembly. They're appointed or elected. Hmm? Speaker is, when you say this, elected one. Elected by the House. Okay? The House will elect the speaker and continues till the next speaker stepped in. Assume assembly dissolved. Okay? Now Andhra assembly is about to be dissolved because elections are nearby. Speaker is there till the next assembly resumes its operation. Okay. So that position is different. Of course, if they don't want speaker, position always in democracy, there's a procedure for removal. Right? So a no confidence motion has to be done. Simply. He can be removed. Always half plus one is a majority because elected by the same thing, the thing is concerned. So already the new group asked him to resign, dignified way. Why you face no confidence? He refused to do so. So a no confidence motion was introduced. Still not interested to resign. Is he going to face it? No. Here, whenever a no confidence motion, the technical thing is that 14 days notice has to be served. Right? So, when you made this 14 days notice, so when you have given notice, now the period, everything will be counted. So, till then is the speaker. But another aspect is that when the no confidence motion introduced, when the discussion is at that time, he is not supposed to chair. Definitely, deputy speaker or somebody will chair the meeting. Okay. He can't chair that. So finally, you don't have an option. I resign or abstain. Otherwise, you will be munted out. And same case with parliament also. Okay. Speaker and deputy speaker are elected and can be removed by the house as well. Okay. So that's point. Just keep in mind. And 14 days notice has to be done because this is now on this issue, the issue. And previously also there, the same thing happened. Speaker refused to resign. Then the conference just a day before he resigned. So finally, they may do so because there's no option. And one point also make it clear. Parliament side, when the speaker, deputy speaker, there's no deputy speaker in Lok Sabha. Entire this season, first time that present Lok Sabha is getting or going to be dissolved without deputy speaker. Actually, it's a constitutional post. Speaker, deputy speaker, the constitution is mentioned, but it's not honored. Generally, deputy speaker belong to opposition. Then, of course, Kejriwal in the news continuously. Yeah, Shamala mentioned elected members, yeah. So, a Delhi CM, someone by court, asked why he skipped 5 ED calls. So the ED issue is going on. So here one fact you have to keep in mind is enforcement directorate have the power of a civil court. It can call on, and if not, I mean, it's what called summon. Everybody has to honor. If not, it has the power to take action. But because it's the CM here, then they feel that better to approach the court because the politically sensitive issue. Now the court stepped in and asked to present before the court first, okay, and explain why he is not doing. Then he has to go and explain. So if the court satisfies, then orders will be accordingly. Even can he refuse to go to court now? He can't. That will be treated as contempt of court. ED it may not be, but it is the contempt of court it will be. So you have to honor those things. But one general factor is that whenever allegations are made, you have to defend yourself, isn't it? You have to present your case in one form or the another. Otherwise, it will become serious. So what's happened to Soren Jharkhand finally? Okay, one day only he is not able to. He was not traced, right? For some time, missing CM. That's what headlines goes on. Finally resigned, get arrested, and again on bail. So it's all bailable offences. White collar offences won't be there for a long time. Only for few months or like again few a year plus they'll be in jail. Once it come out, nobody knows how long it will continue. But politically, it's a political issue. We may say this is some kind political significance it will have. So keeping that in mind to avoid arrest, but how long is a big question mark, isn't it? Then again, one more thing issue for him is defamation suit was there. So he retweeted. Actually, it is not written by him. Somebody tweeted. He retweeted that. Is it amount to defamation? Okay. So constitutional is only, for example, you have freedom of speech and expression. Which article? Freedom of speech and expression. Huh? Quickly, 19 is right to freedom. Under Article 19, you have 6 freedoms, right? 6 freedoms are there. So 19(1)(a) is talking about this. 19(1)(a) is freedom of speech and expression. But it is not absolute. It is followed by reasonable restrictions. And one of the restriction, apart from this, no, it should not affect the unity, integrity of the nation, sovereignty, okay, neighborhood relations. One of the thing is that defamation. You can't defame the other person without proof, without an evidence part, without the fact, isn't it? So where that is mentioned, which article talking about limitation? Once appeared in our competitive civil cities. Which article? 19(1), okay, talking about this. 19 clause 2, okay, is of restrictions. 8 restrictions are there. Among it, defamation is one. So once Google it and try to find out what are the restrictions. Now and then have the glance so that you will not forget. These are intended. Now, directly he is not doing. He is retweeting. Is it amount to defamation? I didn't said anything. You said I just or WhatsApp messages, uh, what is this, Facebook, Insta. We just forward, isn't it? Then will it that amount to? So court has looked into in depth So it refuses to quash. When refuses to quash implies, yes, it has to be done. And the judge said wonderfully, Justice Shwarana Sharma, when a public figure with a political standing tweets or retweets, okay, is a public figure and that too political standing, the repercussions escalates. If you and me done, it may or may not be. If some celebrity is something, it will have more weightage. That what is escalate given the broader implication society. The audience therefore become a citizenry at large whose opinion may be influenced, okay, by this information they consume, including defamatory statement published on social media. So the impact, the consequences of it has taken by the judge. And so said, if you are retweeting means you are upholding that. How is that you will do that? So they are going ahead. So it's the first time this retweeting issue arises. So we have to be very careful in this issue. Then, of course, another issue, the concern with reservations. Should IAS, IPS officers' children continue to get benefits of reservations? Asked the Supreme Court judge. Of course, the issue is going on. The hearing part is going on in the case. In this case, one issue now came up. So the issue of reservation is one thing, and subcategorization issue is going on, right? But so the very spirit of giving us reservation come to the fore now. So reservations are existing in India from the day one of the constitution or not? Huh? No. So when the constitution came into force, the concept of reservation is not there. When it was added, very first constitutional amendment, very first constitutional amendment, okay, because Article 14 is talking about what? Equality, right? All are equal, all persons are equal before the eyes of law. And 15, 16, all these articles you have to keep in mind. Article 14, 15, 16. These three are interlinked. Article 15 says no discrimination. These two, no discrimination on the grounds of race, religion, caste, sex, etc., regarding access to public places, including education institutions, right? Here, employment opportunities. This is the thing. By first constitutional amendment, okay, 15.4, 16.4. This is very first constitutional amendment, 1951, was added. Here they use the word however. So first they said no discrimination. However, state can take special measures, right, for the development of socially, educationally backward classes, not economically. Educationally backward classes. Who are these? So the criteria is caste as criteria, not income. That's how you have the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes reservation 4N. 15%, 7.5% reservation. Later, OBC came, right? 27%. This is also caste criteria. When the OBC issue came, the court came up with a concept called creamy layer. That is, the better of sections should be kept out from the fruits of reservation. You are already developed, maybe particular caste. Okay, conditions at the time of India's independence are different now. Okay, you benefited. So already if you become IS, IPS of gazette officers or economically wonderful, then what's the need for their children? Because the very essence of reservation is what? Social justice, achieve social justice. That is to render the helping hand for the bill of brethren to come to the mainstream. Okay, to render the helping hand to fellow brethren to come to the mainstream. If that be the case, already developed, what's the need for you? You become, what's the need for your kith and kin, second generation to generation? So, in this OBC reservation, what is the famous case that is called? After Mandal Commission recommendation, this OBC reservation was given. No? What is the case? Indra Sahani? Sure? Doubtfully you are saying. Eh? So, it said that if a person is of gazetted rank, his kith and kin is not available. Similarly, 8 lakhs income criteria. Yeah, Shamala mentioned very clearly 8 lakhs part in the Sahani case, right? So, a creamy layer came. Okay? Creamy layer means the better of sections should be denied of the reservations. So that poor of the poor, the poorest, right, we call it, the fruits will reach. Otherwise, who are benefited, they only get benefited. But this is only for OBC, not for SC/STs. It is not there. So there is a demand for that. Why can't you include in this? So that issue is going on. At the same time, within the caste, now the BC, A, B, C, D criteria at the state level. National level, we don't have. So the issue of subcategorization. Already some castes get developed. Among the thing is concerned. Among the SCs, few castes are highly developed. So accordingly, you can categorize. Especially in Andhra, for example, already categorization done. Okay. So where the Mala Madiga thing is concerned, then again there's a difference among them. There's a fight against each other. Others are raping. So the government come up. Then the issue is whether they can do it or not. Who has the power? When the Punjab has done, court set aside. Andhra Pradesh had, now the issue is there. Can the states can do subcategorization? Isn't it? So as per the constitution, what? Otherwise, what? Anyway, before we getting into the constitutional point, this is what the central government is not against reservation, supports subclassification. Even central government says we are going ahead. Okay, the central government said very clearly the other day. So the judge, Justice B.R. Gawai, made the statement otherwise. Okay. A person from SC/ST gets into ISIP, etc. Once you are there, their children do not suffer the disadvantages that persons from the other SC communities suffer. But by virtue of reservation, they are also entitled to the benefits for the second generation and again the third generation. That's what is a comment pass, is not the judgment. And one of the reasons why it is Gawai is going to be the next Chief Justice. He is on the line, seniority wise. I think this May, Chandrachud term is going to be over. Gawai is taking over it as. So definitely the versions come. And it is not, it's a constitutional bench. So constitutional bench of judges are looking into this. See the significance of it, isn't it? Not 1, 2, 3. So 7 judges are making the thing is concerned. Because of this become very crucial. Now we have to see how it is. Why constitutional bench? It wanted to override 2004 judgments. Okay. So, as per 2004 judgment of the five judge bench of the Constitution in E.V. Chinnaya versus State of Andhra Pradesh. E.V. Chinnaya versus AP. So this case is there. So Supreme Court or Parliament High Court has the power to review its own judgments. If it is done by 3 members bench, it should be done by 5. If it is by 5, it's by 7. If it is by 7, it should be done by 9, 13, like this. So for the Keshwanda Bharti case, number of times I told, it's by 13 members. They reviewed it. So now it is 7 members bench to review this case. Advisable to remember E.V. Chennai versus State of Andhra Pradesh. Because they said SCs and STs are homogeneous groups, not heterogeneous. Similar. So how can you subclassify? That is a issue at that point of time. But now that condition changed and everything, so they wanted to do this exercise. So here one more article you have to keep in mind is this subcategorization can be done by whom? So Article 341. It is authorizing Parliament. Okay, Article 341, authorizing Parliament to do so. So only Parliament can do, not the state legislature. If that be the case, how AP or Punjab will do that? Isn't it? So there is an issue in this one. So now the central government is also in favor. Let us see what is going to be happen shortly. Okay. Then one more thing is the Union Law Ministry has accepted the suggestions made by the department related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Personal Public Grievance Law and Justice last year to establish regional benches. This is an important here. Establish regional benches of the Supreme Court. Okay. Now Supreme Court is only in Delhi, nowhere else. There's a long-standing demand, it should be established at least south one way, either Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, like this. Now that it is recommended, southern region, yes, go ahead with Hyderabad or Chennai. Okay, there's no any specific name was made to this, but not only one, all 4 corners, east side one, west side one, south one, like this. Okay, so that you will have more. So presently, this article you have to keep in mind. As per this article 130, the seat of Supreme Court is in Delhi. It shall sit in Delhi only, right? But if possible, it can be do so. Who can do so? Who can? So the wording is very clear. Sit in Delhi in such other places, if at all any other places, as the Chief Justice of India may, with the approval of President from time to time, as such. That means whose initiative? Initiated by Chief Justice, but approval of President. Not President will initiate. Okay. Chief Justice can initiate, and President has to approve. So this point you have to keep in mind. Okay, make note of that. So in the southern region, there's a two places. They said Chennai, Hyderabad. Eastern region, Calcutta. Western region, Mumbai. That's what the right now they suggested. And Constitutional Court in Delhi and Court of Appeal or Federal Court sitting in this north, south, east, west, and central India. If possible, now they can go ahead with this. Even previously, Law Commission also agreed with these versions. Now let us see whether it is going to be materialized. Not so. But this point you have to be okay. Then at the same time, there is a reform issue in the judiciary, and CJ come up with the few solutions. Judicial reforms, for example, no doubt very much important from both the prelims and mains point of view. Okay, and mains very 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 important. So busy courts here. What are the problems? Adjournment culture delays justice delivery. So why is it happening? Courts are busy, adjournments are regular phenomena, and otherwise to avoid this frequent. So there's a very when the practical problem is there that need to be addressed. So time scheduling is very important for arguments. Now, like Ayodhya issue or everything, no, every day hearing, 1 week, 10 days, like the scheduling they are doing recently, if you observe very carefully, so that that will be over. That continuous hearing maybe become a convenient for the constitutional benches. Okay, now that become a trend, so that you are finishing those cases quickly and do that one. So very in the US, for example, there is what very strict time limits are there, so that we need to be do that, and some sort of a flexi time for the lawyers as well as judges. Now that fixed timing is there office hours, if necessary, even those things can be flexible. Okay, then as long court vacations are issues, we have to address that very much. So last time, no, they reduced the summer vacation 10 to 7 weeks. So like this, that need to be addressed. Then regarding appointment of the judges and others, first generation lawyers are there now. So inclusivity of the diverse backgrounds while appointing, you have to take care of the background. See that all persons, not only just a merit. Like for example, now there's a crime that women should be there. That religion person also advisable. Okay, rich man, poor background. Like this, you have innumerable things are there, advisable to take care of this. Then others recommendation including increasing the retirement age. Okay, what is the retirement age now? Supreme Court judges 65, High Court 62. Now, one of the recommendation is that it should be increased. At least 62 should become 65, 65 become 67 or 68. So let us see how it be. Though others are there, the issue, but few issues you can keep in mind. Right. So there are the few issues we keep in this. Then to conclude with small tidbits, Telangana when it comes to this concern, Malaysian university seeks to establish here the campus. So foreign universities also now stepping in. And one of the specialty, if at all it was sought, because now the UGC has permitted, it is going to be the first foreign university campus in India itself. Okay, though others are there, play for this concern. Okay, so every possibility shortly it is going to be done. Then the Telangana instead of TS, so no more again. Huh? So previously TG only, right? Always they used to be right TG, TG. So whatever be the reason, okay, now they wanted to make it up, and mainly vehicle registration issue is there. But anyway, the government clarified very clearly, no need to change the. Now the AP registration is continuing in the similar way. That can be no hurry burry, but still. So they are showing their mark. Then of course Grammy Awards. This is another thing which you have to make note of it. And the music award, the India first time got 5 Indian shine here, isn't it? So the appreciation, the Zakir Hussain with the 3 Grammys, Rakesh Chaurashia 2 Grammys, Shankar Mahadevan, then Ganesh Rajgopalan, Selva Ganesh. So they are able to get into this 5 at 1 stroke. So definitely an issue. Then you can. Then of course regarding album and others, regular issue is there. Then you can. But Indian names always you have to keep in mind. Okay. Then Bharat Ratna. Already last time we discussed Karpuri Thakur get it. Then again it was announced to Lal Krishna Advani. Now this 2024 Bharat Ratna means is this concern awarded to 2 persons now. Generally, these awards will be announced before the Republic Day, right? Karpuri Thakur was announced like that only. So it's over. We don't know why Advani name was not announced at that time. Then Ayodhya temple issue came. Advani became limelight, as it looks like in the beginning he didn't get invitation. Then later it may look a political setback. He was invited, though of course physically not present because of ill health. Maybe now that elections are in the corner, now Ayodhya issue is no doubt a political plank. Maybe. So we don't know the reasons, political reasons, maybe the thing is. But Advani is a deserved person. Okay. He has done human service to the India in general, and specifically to promote the Hindutva. And without his Radha I'm doubtful any issue of Ayodhya will be there or not. Then later, his role in government as a deputy prime minister as well, right? Got it. Did he got any other awards or only Bharat Ratna? No, others are no Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, Vibhushans, and all the things are there. Is he got any other or only Bharat Ratna? Hmm? Bharat Ratna, of course, is the highest civilian award. When it was instituted, yeah, one question in banking they asked recently, Bharat Ratna is instituted. Year they asked, first time, from 1954. Okay, 2nd January it was instituted. So initially in the fields of art, literature, science, and public service, but in 2011 it was expanded to include any field of human endeavor. Who decides Bharat Ratna? I mean, the award given to whom will be decided by whom? Prime Minister only? Prime Minister and President, right. So recommendation for Bharat Ratna are made by PM and President. So in order of precedence, it is the seventh rank, protocol side. And almost all lifetime pension will be given, something equal to salary of a judge of Supreme Court, okay, CJI, and all discount traveling, jet categories, all these benefits are there, no doubt. Yeah, I posed the question, you didn't answer. Did he got anything? Padma Sri, Padma like this? President, Prime Minister, yeah, Padma Vibhushan, Bhavani mentioned, good. In 2015, he got Padma Vibhushan. Okay, now Bharat. Anyhow, last one item, I don't know whether previously cited or not, so I got the doubt when looking into. Now that Indian mission, the first human space mission, we are planning Gaganyaan. First, we are sending the woman robo. So the name, so no doubt Mitra, Om Mitra, okay, Vyom Mitra. So a woman robo astronaut is flying into space before one of the ambitious missions. That's what is it, no? Our Gaganyaan. So Gaganyaan is India's first human space mission. When is going to be launched? Next year only, 2025. Of course, ISRO will take care and planning to send 3 humans into space for 3 day mission. It's a 3 day mission and bring them back. Okay, that means these humans will travel at the orbit of 400 kilometers only. So maybe for the trial plots and everything, robo also getting into endowment. So we have to wait and see how it be done. Right. So that's all for today. Any doubts? Hmm? Yes. Think. Right. So thank you very much. See you next week. Bye.